Raiders Nation. It is an exciting time to be following the team as we dive into the latest developments surrounding the Las Vegas Raiders. The front office has been very active, bringing in multiple candidates for interviews, and the conversations around the next head coach are heating up. One of the names generating the most buzz is Kevin Stefanski, the former Cleveland Browns head coach. Today, the Raiders are expected to sit down with him, along with Vance Joseph and Matt Nagy, after already meeting with Broncos quarterback coach and passing game coordinator Davis Webb just last night. Tomorrow brings Clint Q back into the spotlight, who many are considering the top target. The process has sparked a lot of debate among fans, especially when it comes to Stefanski, and it is easy to understand why. Some Raiders supporters are hesitant about Stefanski because of how his tenure ended in Cleveland. The struggles of his final years, particularly the mismanagement of the quarterback position, have left a mark on his reputation. Yet, when you look at his overall coaching career, it is clear why he remains a sought-after figure in the league. Stefanski has worn multiple hats throughout his NFL journey, serving as a running backs coach, tight ends coach, quarterbacks coach, offensive coordinator, and ultimately a head coach. His early success in Cleveland earned him NFL Coach of the Year honors in 2 separate seasons, and before that, he helped guide Minnesota's offense to solid production. Over 15 games with Kirk Cousins in 2019, the Vikings finished with 26 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and a completion percentage of over 69, amassing more than 3,600 passing yards. His first year with Baker Mayfield produced similar numbers, with 26 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, and over 3,500 yards through the air, demonstrating his capability as an offensive mind. However, some of the criticism directed at Stefanski centers on the Deshaun Watson trade during his time in Cleveland. While it is difficult to pinpoint how much of that decision was solely his responsibility, the optics were unfavorable, and the team ultimately struggled to recover. His coaching record reflects a mix of highs and lows, with 11-5 in his first season, followed by declining results and a slight rebound before finishing with disappointing outcomes in the final campaigns. Fans are quick to note the drop in points per game toward the end of his tenure, which suggests a downward trend, yet it is equally important to consider the early success and the potential that Stefanski still brings as a strategist. One of the strengths highlighted by analysts is his commitment to the running game, particularly his work with Nick Chubb, which aligns well with the style the Raiders hope to establish under the next regime. It is crucial to approach these interviews with the understanding that not every candidate is being considered as the definitive choice for head coach. Bringing Stefanski in does not automatically mean the Raiders are committing to him, but it provides an opportunity to evaluate his vision and approach firsthand. Even if he were to accept a role as offensive coordinator, his presence could be a significant upgrade in certain aspects of team strategy. The same logic applies to the other candidates coming through, such as Davis Webb, a younger coach bringing fresh ideas, or Vance Joseph, whose defensive experience and familiarity with the AFC West could complement the team's needs. Clint Q remains the marquee target, and the evaluations of other candidates may very well be a strategic move to prepare for his arrival and ensure the team presents a strong package for him. When it comes to the quarterback room, there is reason for both caution and optimism. Stefanski's history with managing quarterbacks is mixed, particularly with Baker Mayfield and the decisions surrounding Dylan Gabriel and Shader Sanders in Cleveland. There were instances where players were underprepared or underutilized, which can leave long-term repercussions for a team's development. That said, the Raiders are entering this offseason with only a few confirmed quarterbacks on the roster, including Aiden O'Connell. Geno Smith has already departed. Kenny Pickett is set to become a free agent, and the team lost Cam Miller. Stefanski's experience could be instrumental if the coaching staff wants to rebuild a quarterback room effectively, though his past failures serve as a cautionary tale. It will be interesting to see if the lessons from Cleveland will inform his approach in Las Vegas, and whether he can create an environment that maximizes the potential of the current roster while developing the talent arriving through the draft and free agency. Meanwhile, Max Crosby has dominated headlines with news of his successful cleanup surgery and an optimistic outlook on his recovery. Posting on social media, Crosby expressed confidence in achieving full recovery and suggested that the upcoming season could be his best yet. His mindset embodies resilience and determination, emphasizing that challenges and setbacks are part of the journey and that growth comes from navigating them successfully. Crosby's attitude is particularly meaningful for the Raiders, who are in the midst of a significant reset and reload. With the #1 overall draft pick, substantial salary cap space, and multiple draft selections, the team is preparing to restructure and strengthen its foundation. Crosby's commitment to the organization and desire to remain a Raider for life signals stability and leadership in a locker room facing transformation. The messaging from Crosby also highlights a shared vision between key players and management. His comments about making history rather than excuses reflect an alignment with the team's goals of improvement and sustained success. It is an encouraging sign that, despite the necessary changes ahead, players like Crosby are committed to being part of the franchise's growth. Fans should feel reassured that even during this transitional period, there is continuity in leadership and culture. The Raiders' plan appears to be a combination of strategic coaching hires, prudent roster management, and fostering the right mindset among players to maximize performance both on and off the field. Off the broader NFL landscape, coaching moves elsewhere also have implications for the Raiders. Recent firings, such as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers letting go of offensive coordinator Josh Grishard, create potential ripple effects in the league. Grishard's experience, particularly with passing game coordination and quarterback development, could intersect with the Raiders' coaching considerations. While he may not be the immediate target for the top coordinator spot, the overlap with existing personnel and a network of relationships throughout the league can influence future decisions. Raiders management is clearly assessing all angles, from high-profile head coaching candidates to supporting roles that may significantly impact offensive and defensive development. Additionally, the movement of assistant coaches and coordinators across teams highlights the importance of relationships and familiarity. For example, the Raiders' assistant general manager, Brian Stark, has historical ties with several potential coaching candidates, having previously coached quarterbacks at Yale, which intersects with the background of coaches like Grishard. Understanding these connections is key when constructing a staff that operates cohesively and maximizes the talent on the roster. The front office's meticulous approach underscores their commitment to building a team that is prepared for the challenges of the upcoming season while remaining competitive in the AFC West. The current climate in Las Vegas is one of cautious optimism. Bringing in multiple coaching candidates, evaluating their styles, and aligning them with the team's long-term objectives is a clear signal that the Raiders are committed to a thoughtful rebuild. While opinions about Stefanski remain divided, his presence in the process demonstrates a willingness to explore all options and extract value from each conversation. The combination of proven veterans, emerging talent, and strategic hires could create a balanced approach that benefits both players and fans alike. The journey toward the next head coach and a successful season is underway, and the interactions happening today and tomorrow are critical to shaping the identity of the team moving forward. As we move deeper into the Raiders' offseason, the focus shifts from coaching to roster construction, and there's plenty to analyze. Max Crosby's recovery and mindset set the tone for what the team hopes to achieve in the coming months. His comment about making history and embracing risks underscore a philosophy that the Raiders are clearly adopting this offseason. Take bold moves, accept challenges, and focus on long-term success. Crosby's role extends beyond his on-field performance. His leadership and example are critical for younger players who are joining a team in transition. It is one thing to have talent, but the Raiders are emphasizing character, accountability, and resilience as pillars of the organization's culture, which makes Crosby's presence even more valuable. The quarterback room remains a topic of intense scrutiny. With Aiden O'Connell as the only confirmed returning quarterback, the Raiders must carefully plan how they approach the position during the draft and free agency. Geno Smith's departure and Kenny Pickett entering free agency leave significant gaps, and the team's choices now will shape the identity of the offense for the next several seasons. Stefanski's previous difficulties with quarterback management in Cleveland serve as both a warning and a lesson. The organization will need to ensure that whoever oversees the quarterbacks can develop them effectively, protect their confidence, and integrate them into a system that maximizes their strengths. The hope is that lessons learned elsewhere in the league, combined with careful staff selections, will allow the Raiders to avoid past pitfalls. Offensive strategy is another area where the Raiders are clearly taking a thoughtful approach. Stefanski's emphasis on the running game aligns with the type of offense the Raiders envision, one that values ball control, efficient passing, and physicality at the line of scrimmage. Ashton Gentry, Brock Purdy, and the other offensive weapons will be central to executing this vision. The team wants to balance explosive plays with consistent fundamentals, aiming for an offense that is difficult to predict and capable of sustaining drives. The coaching interviews, particularly for those with offensive backgrounds, are as much about evaluating philosophy as they are about experience. The front office is looking for coaches who understand how to cultivate talent, adapt schemes, and manage personnel effectively. Defensively, the Raiders face a similar challenge. While offensive plans often take center stage in discussions about the future of the team, the defensive unit will be critical in establishing a strong foundation. Vance Joseph's potential involvement brings experience in defensive coordination, and his familiarity with the AFC West is a clear advantage. The Raiders need leaders on both sides of the ball who can implement systems, adjust in-game strategies, and communicate effectively with players. The overall aim is to assemble a staff that complements each other, with overlapping knowledge and shared goals. This attention to detail in hiring reflects a commitment to long-term competitiveness rather than short-term fixes. Looking at the broader NFL landscape, coaching firings and movement provide context for the Raiders' decisions. Recent changes with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, such as Josh Grischard's departure as offensive coordinator, highlight the interconnected nature of coaching networks. Grischard's experience as a passing game coordinator and his prior collaborations with key personnel in Las Vegas make him a figure to watch, even if he is not immediately considered for the top coordinator role. Similarly, the movement of other assistant coaches, coordinators, and position specialists around the league can influence the Raiders' decisions, providing both opportunities and benchmarks for comparison. These external factors emphasize how critical timing and strategy are when assembling a coaching staff and roster capable of contending in the AFC West. The upcoming draft will play a pivotal role in shaping the team's future. With the number 1 overall pick, the Raiders have a chance to address multiple needs while also securing a cornerstone player who can impact the team for years. In addition to the top pick, the 10 total selections provide flexibility to bolster depth across several positions, from offensive linemen to skill positions and defensive contributors. The combination of draft capital and significant salary cap space creates an environment ripe for strategic planning and bold acquisitions. The management's goal is to ensure that these assets are used wisely to maximize long-term value, emphasizing both immediate improvements and sustainable success. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Las Vegas Raiders. And don't be shy. Drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. A powerful rumor has started to circulate around the league, and it is already shaking the foundations of Raider Nation. Sources close to the organization suggest that KHALIL Mack could be on his way back to Las Vegas, in what would be one of the most symbolic and emotionally charged returns in recent NFL memory. Nothing is confirmed, but the mere possibility has reignited conversations about identity, leadership, and unfinished business. Mack's name is inseparable from the Raiders' modern defensive history. During his first stint with the franchise, he embodied everything the team wanted to represent: aggression, intensity, and a relentless pass rush that could change the tone of a game in a single snap. The idea behind this rumor is not just about nostalgia. Insiders whisper that the Raiders see Mack as the missing piece to transform their defense from inconsistent to feared. The speculation goes even deeper. According to league chatter, the front office believes Mack's return would immediately establish him as the unquestioned leader of the defense, both on and off the field. Younger players would benefit from his experience, while the locker room would gain a voice that commands respect without needing to speak loudly. Coaches reportedly admire his professionalism and preparation, viewing him as an extension of the staff between the lines. Financial and contractual obstacles are part of the conversation, but optimism remains. Some around the team believe creative solutions could make a reunion viable, especially if both sides are motivated by legacy as much as numbers. For Mack, the Raiders represent the franchise that drafted him and shaped his early dominance. For the Raiders, Mack represents a standard they have been trying to recapture. For now, it remains a rumor, but one with enough smoke to suggest real discussions may be happening behind closed doors. If this speculation turns into reality, it would not just be a roster move. It would be a statement that the Raiders are ready to reclaim a defensive identity built on fear, pressure, and leadership, with KHALIL Mack once again at the center of it all. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Las Vegas Raiders, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.